5 o'clock, so I will call this meeting to order. And since I see Mr. Steve Core that asked all these people all these years for the pledge, would you lead us in the pledge?
Good call.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next one would be public comments. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns of patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Do we have any people who want to come forward? Okay. So next we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay. We'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda items.
We need a vote on that.
Okay. So we need a vote. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Now we need to do the approval of the consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We need a vote. Everybody in favor? Aye. We have nothing under district goals and leaderships, nothing under bids, so we'll move on to other business. And the first up, we have Mrs. Harder.
Hello. Hello, Chairman Flom, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. This is just an idea of where you are at before you hear the grant requests. Just so you know, the numbers are an estimate. With the 25% property tax cut, the numbers could change, but this is the most recent information that I have. Reoccurring expenditures include the athletic trainer, aquatics, operations, activities, supplies, and staff development. Also, the turf field set aside. If we go with the total amount of requests, we would be dipping into the cash reserves. Are there any questions?
Any questions on the board?
No.
Okay. Okay. Next we'll go on to 702 for the source well.
Okay. We are asking for your approval to be part of Sourcewell, a cooperative purchasing program. This is much like Northeast BOCES, which we have used in the past. Sourcewell works with school districts around the country to help with the bidding and purchasing requirements. It is a free service for us. Instead, the vendors are charged. Are there any questions?
Well, as I understand it, this would kind of streamline the bid process. We don't
Yes.
have to jump through as many hoops. Is that right?
Yep, we can put our stuff out on the website and then people are able to put in their bids and then we can select from there.
Any other questions? Okay, so do I need to make a motion or just vote? Yeah. Okay, I need a
To
motion.
approve, the membership of our Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
I'll second.
First by Tom, second by Ashley. Need a vote. Are we in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, we have to consider the City of Greenwood Parks and Rec Department request for a Riverside Memorial Park Pathway and Lighting Project, and I guess it's no. Not Mr. Rust.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and trustees. I'm Ryan Rustin, the Government Affairs and Grants Manager for the City of Green River, here to present our Riverside Park request to you. I'll try and be quick, but this is a long time coming, this project, so a little bit of background might be important. The city started this project in about 2020. It's a large project which focused on replacing a portion of the riverbank which washed out in Riverside Park around the U drop there. Replacing the playground equipment, replacing the concrete pathway throughout the park, and installing some lighting at the park. As you know, this is a heavily used park. It's an access point for many folks to the Greenbelt, so it's a huge community asset used by a lot of folks. While we started it in 2020, we've seen various issues throughout time. Of course, COVID threw a wrench in the plans. Following that, a lot of inflationary costs that raised the price of doing all of these various things. We also applied for a Wyoming Outdoor Recreation grant following that to try and do additional projects within the park. Due to some of the ARPA rules and some confusion there, that took well over a year for them to get back to us on whether that was going to be approved. So we didn't want to start work without hearing back on that grant. So long story short, there's been a few setbacks, but we're finally in a position where things are moving forward. Just this past year, we completed the replacement of the playground equipment and utilized $50,000 in the rec mill for that project, as well as some land water conservation fund. Those are federal grant funds that we received for the project. We also have land water conservation funds for the riverbank portion of the project. And just this past week, heard that we received some additional funding from them that will allow us to complete that, which is important because that work kind of needs to be done before we go through and replace a pathway. So we look forward to moving that portion of the project very soon. So that leaves the pathway and the lighting, which is what we're here for today. Originally, the city received a transportation alternatives program grant. It's a federal funds passed through the YDOT. That was $400,000 in federal funds and $100,000 matching from the city. Through the various bid processes that we've gone through, we found out that that pathway is going to be far more expensive than it was back in 2020 when we started this process. And in our discussions with the folks from YDOT, they recommended that we give that grant back and reapply for it again under the new terms of the grant. So we recently have done that and are reapplying currently. We will have a meeting with YDOT here very soon. And in that discussion, they will kind of talk us through what they think is realistically available. So we gave back 400,000. The newest estimate for that pathway and lighting is somewhere in the neighborhood of 900,000. Going back and asking for 900,000 is certainly unlikely, but there is an opportunity to increase that federal share. We intend to do that. And then just simply have to provide matching funds and whatever the uncovered costs are. So that's really where we're at right now and why this request is before you. A lot of these pieces are somewhat in motion since we put this application together, quite frankly, but still a need for some additional funds to get that completed. It's likely that the pathway will not be started during the next fiscal year. There's a potential that it will be, and we'd like to be able to move on that as soon as we're able to. But again, we're somewhat reliant on YDOT awarding those TAP funds, which we've received word that we're somewhat likely to get that. So we feel pretty confident. Just in general, I just wanted to note that this is about, for the entirety of Riverside Park, about a $1.5 million project to complete all these enhancements. And thus far, through completing the riverbank, we have the 50,000 from the rec mill, 300,000 in federal funds, and 250,000 that the city has put in so far to complete with the pathway and the lighting. Again, we've got that additional $900,000, and we're going to try and get as much of that through federal funds as we can, but would certainly appreciate the support of the rec mill in leveraging those funds as well as city funds to get that completed. So I think that's all I have, but I'm certainly happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Well, I'm gonna recommend, before I make a motion, I'm gonna recommend that we approve 100,000 of this 200,000 and then invite Ryan and the city back next year if the YDOT doesn't come through. If that makes sense. And then that'll give you your matching funds for the same grant. So will that work?
Yeah, I think that will work great. And certainly next year we will have, if we haven't been able to start the project already with those grant funds, we'll have a better concept of just what cleaning up that additional funding will look like.
Right. I think everybody understood from what Katie said that, we're taking a 25% cut on the rec bill too. So we're a little bit hesitant to extend all of our arms out, though we want to help everything and appreciate everything that you've done to make that project come through. But I'd like to make a motion to approve $100,000 for the Riverside Memorial Park pathway and lighting project.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is 704. Consider approval of the City of Green River Parks and Rec Department request for the fourth session of the summer swim lessons. Shoemaker.
Hi. Chairman Flom, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. I'm Sherry Schumacher. I am a Recreation Program Supervisor for the City of Green River. And one of my favorite programs that I have to run is swimming lessons. And summer swimming lessons are very popular. And we actually do swimming lessons year round, but the ones in the summertime, there's 2 sessions that we do at the Green River High School Aquatic Center. And we are asking for funding to run a 4th session of swimming lessons at the Green River High School Aquatic Center. Just to get more kids through our program and teach kids at Green River how to swim.
Any questions? So I need a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the City of Green River Parks and Rec Department request for the 4th session of summer swim lessons.
I second.
Okay. Now I need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, next up. 705, consider approval of the City of Green River Parks and Recs for the summer day camp.
Good evening, Chairman and Trustees. I'm Katie Duncombe. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Green River. And we are requesting $20,000 to support the summer day camp program in transportation, experience fees and field trips, and some essential safety equipment that we are having to replace on an annual basis that we would like to get an upgraded version of that, including some 2-way radios and some backpacks for the staff for first aid kits, water for the kids, and the registration information that the staff are required to carry with them. The program operates Monday through Friday in the summer from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and it's housed at Monroe Elementary. The activities, we have physical activities, educational components, which include swimming, archery, and then interactive experiences through the library system. Some of the field trips that we're planning this year are to South Pass City and Fort Bridger. And whether this program supplies a day of an activity for a child, they can register for just a day, an entire week, or the full summer. It gives parents the flexibility to do that and they get a great experience. We're celebrating the 18th year of the program and it continues to grow each year. Last year we did fill each day with registrations of 100 children, but we averaged about 80 kids that attended each day. Some attend or register for the full summer and can't make it every single day. And in 2025, it's going to run from June 16th until August 1st. So it'll be a 7-week program. Do you have any questions for me?
What's the ages on that?
It's kindergarten through 6th grade for the upcoming school year.
And then would the kindergartens go to South Pass?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. We take all of the kids with us on the field trip, and that usually takes 2 buses with 13 staff,
Okay. And so that's the ratio is what?
1 to 7.
I don't have a question, but I think the program is great. I know it saved me when my kids were little, so I appreciate you guys doing it for the community.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll need a motion.
I move to approve $20,620 for the City of Green River Parks and Rec for the summer day camp program.
A second.
Okay. Need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, carries. Okay, that was done. All right, consider approval of the White Mountain Archery Club for outdoor archery targets, Mr. Wyatt and Mr. Palmer.
How you guys doing? We're asking for $11,886 to replace the outdoor range targets down at the FMC park. That our archery targets are hammered. And us as a club, we can't swing it to replace all of them. The total amount, I don't know if you guys have a copy of the quote that they sent us. But it was it come to a total of $18,678 for all 22. And I went around, I don't like doing it, but I went around and hit up some of the local companies and stuff, and right now I got enough to buy about 9 targets from Tata and the Union. High donated. White Mountain Archers is going to buy some. Solvay donated 300, and Western Midstream donated 2 targets. And if you guys could help us out, that would be great.
If I may fill in a little history with you, we built this range in conjunction with the city of Green River in 2007. During that time, part of the agreement was the city supplied the property and the club would do most of the maintenance with the help of the city when we needed it. During that time, the club bought all of the targets for the outdoor range. I say we bought them. Most of them were donated from local community members. At that time, the targets were a whole lot cheaper than they are right now. In about 2015,
we hosted the Senior Olympics. They held the Senior Olympics in Rock Springs, but they used our range for the archery part. And we have the grass program. They use them. And honestly, that's probably the second most used park in the town. Everybody's welcome to use it, you don't have to be a member or nothing. So.
yeah, in about 2015, Muley Fanatics came in and donated enough money to replace all the targets, which was great. That $10,000 is about the same thing we're trying to replace right now, the amount of targets. So what we paid for $400 or $500 a piece, now we're looking at $800.
They're $849 a piece.
So as Bob said, it's used by a lot of the community. I would say 80% of the people go down there are not part of White Mountain Archers. And it's good to see the kids and families down there. Anytime we can get a kid doing something besides cell phone or PlayStation, we're glad to see them down there. So I'd like to add,
if I were down there shooting, these targets would last a lot longer.
But we have some close ones.
We actually, and these targets have lasted 11 years, 11 years. So we get our money. I mean, they get used, and
We've had some success repairing them too. So we'll tear them down and repair them. If you've ever been down there, they're all made of carpet, used carpet and compressed. So we have had some success tearing them apart and put some new carpet in them, but they just don't last near as long. But we try to stretch them as far as we can.
Okay, any questions?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve $11,886 for replacement of the archery targets for White Mountain Archery Club.
I'll second.
First by Tom, second by Ashley. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, next up, consider approval of Greenbelt Task Force request for water refueling stations, boardwalk engineering and repairs and signage design. Mr. Freeman.
Thank you. I came here in 2023 with a PowerPoint that was about 25 slides, and I watched all of you guys just go. "Ooh." So I'm coming back with only 5 this time, and we're going to get through the first one very quickly. If we can go to the second slide. One more. There you go. Oops. Go back 2. One more. The one with all the pictures. We were here in 2023 and we asked for you guys to help us maintain the trails, provide lighting, and to start to put up signs. If you look on the far left, you can see the chip and seal, which you guys paid for. This was in Expedition Island. Some of the cracks that were in there were 3 inches, and we were able to close them down. We got done with our stuff and the city kicked in, and then they put the sealer coat, that what you see on the top of that. At the end of this spring, the whole green belt will have the chip and seal done and have the sealer on there. So it'll probably be the best piece of asphalt in the town. And we want to thank you guys for providing the seed money to do that. I think the number 2 request, we did a survey in 2022. And I think the number 2 request was that we put lighting on the green belt for security and to stretch out the day for people to walk and to use green belt. This is a very successful project. You guys bought the lights and the poles, and that came to about the $10,000 that we had up there. The Rocky Mountain Power came in and put up the poles, and Infinity Power and Control put the lights on. And then, of course, the Greenbelt Task Force did all the organization, administration, and that kind of stuff. But we were able to double your money with the donations that we had with that. You also gave us $5,000 for signs, and we bought, and I'm going to get this wrong, and Tom will probably correct me, but it's Carbon Light Sign Program. And you see that on trails for like BLM and that kind of stuff. So we bought the whole system so that when we start putting onto the Skyline Trail and doing single track and that kind of stuff, we have the supplies and we have the machine that they can put in there. We had a little bit of money left over from that, and we bought a trailer, an enclosed trailer, and we bought tools to help put up those signs and to help with volunteer units. I got an email today, and Expedition Academy is going to help us, and the tools that you see in that trailer there will probably be used by your students to get a volunteer project done in Scotts Bottom. Go to the next slide. We were going to come last year and request money, and we didn't hear about what the deadline was. So we're a little heavy this year, and I apologize for that, especially after what the legislature did with mill levies. The number 7 request in the citizen survey, and we did a survey and had over 760 people respond, which is about 8% of the city of Green River. All but 4 people used the Greenbelt and wanted to see more things done. And then they ranked about what they wanted to do. Lighting and bank stabilization and those kind of things came before that. We've been ADA stuff and we've been working on that. But the number 7 request on the citizens were having drinking stations. And what we would like to do is we have one to it where it would be the one on the left. We can put that in Stratton Myers. There was one there at one time and some vandal took it out, so we'll hopefully can replace it. And then this isn't the one on the right is a station where you can fill your water bottles and or take a drink of water and go from there. The fixture themselves are rather inexpensive. I think that we can probably get all of the fixtures for about $15,000. What's going to cost is the plumbing, and we're hoping that we can get community volunteers to help us with the cost of the plumbing because we don't know how much it's going to cost to get into the sewage system or the drainage system. We want to place those at Expedition Island, Stratton Myers, and Edgewater Park. I've been here a long time and I remember drinking fountains at every one of those places and they haven't been there for years. So we want to do that. We came up with $20,000. We're probably going to go to the city for some more money, but this would be a very good start. And I know that we can buy all the fixtures for that. The next slide is that we've had some interesting winters in the past couple years, and they built this the boardwalk down there by the Winter Bridge that you can see in the background in the middle picture, and they had a nice unique design. And what they did is they put a big heavy cement foundation under it, and you can see that, and then they put long rods in there to where they would spread it out. What they did before, the river did whatever it wanted to, and we had to replace the boardwalk. We're not in a serious situation now, but we would like to do some preventative maintenance. We will go out and we will find an engineering firm that will look this over and tell us how to repair it. The city has a construction crew that can go back out and perform the work itself. And so basically what we're looking for is the engineering and then to buy supplies and probably rent equipment to begin the repair in the worst part of the boardwalk. And then after they get done with that, the city's going to have to kind of like with what we did with the trails, will have to decide where they're going to go from there. The last slide is that you guys have helped us with the signs in the past. Signage is very interesting. You can't put too much signs down there or else people won't look at them or follow them. And if you don't have enough of them out there, they don't know what the expectation is. So we've been spending about 2 years taking inventory of current signs and what we have. And the $5,000 that you did in 2023 was well spent to get us the materials that we can put in there. What we're asking for this year is for $10,000, and we want to get a sign designer who's going to review our work, tell us what kind of signs that we should have, what they should look like, and we're going to use that template that we create from the Trona Bridge to the top of the world on the Skyline Trail, and we're starting to develop trails on the north side of town. So we're asking total of $50,000 for those 3 projects, and we hope that we can add value to those as we have done in the past. Like I said, we missed the deadline last year, so we're a little heavy this year. And I apologize for that, but not really. So any questions?
Questions? I need a motion.
I'll motion to approve the Green River Greenbelt Task Force for 50,000.
I'll second.
First by Mandy, second by Ashley. Any further discussion?
I need to abstain from this vote, so, because I'm on the board.
Okay, we vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Move on to Green River Grapplers. Consider approval for Green River Grapplers Wrestling Club for the Green River Wrestlers Wrestling Camp. Mr. Cordova.
Yes, good evening, Chairman Flom, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. I'm Brian Cordova, President of the Green River Grapplers Wrestling Club. On behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you for considering our application to hosting a wrestling camp second week in June. I submitted this grant proposal to provide individuals with the opportunity to work alongside leading professionals in the wrestling community. This camp will promote wrestling, sportsmanship, individual character, strength, and stamina. Additionally, this camp will serve as a stepping stone to enhance the middle school and high school wrestling programs. Wrestlers will have the opportunity to meet and learn from Roman Bravo Young and the NJCAA champions at Western Wyoming Community College. Roman Bravo Young is a distinguished two-time NCAA national champion who wrestled for Penn State and is an Olympic qualifier. Additionally, Art Castillo, a former Green River wrestler, is a two-time NJCAA national champion with numerous All-Americans, national champions among his accolades. This camp is expected to attract tourism to Green River, benefiting local businesses and promoting the Green River Wrestling program. With the grant funding requested, we'll be able to make this camp free to all Green River wrestlers, including the grapplers and the Green River High School wrestlers. The camp will be open for other athletes also wanting to attend the camp, and they will be charged a fee. The tentative date for the camp is June 14th, and it will conclude with a tournament and barbecue for the athletes. Anybody have any questions?
How many kids do you guys normally have attend this?
Usually around 100.
And do you turn anyone away?
No.
So the 5,000 can cover whether you have 100.
The 5,000 is covering costs for the clinicians.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, I need a motion.
I'll motion to approve $5,000 for Green River Grapplers Wrestling Camp 2025.
I second.
First by Tom, second by Tawny. Any other discussions? Okay, I need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks.
Okay, next up is Sweetwater BMX request for a pump track completion. Ms. Salinas?
Hi, good evening, members of the board. My name is Heather Salinas. I'm the president of Southwest Wyoming BMX. Got my trusty, my favorite riders here in the background. I apologize in advance. I did not prepare a presentation. I did put pictures at the end of this, but I thought that maybe they could show you guys some pictures of, just to help you visualize like what the track would potentially look like. So you guys just want to walk right there with them. So just to give a little bit more background of who we are and what the club is, because many of you are new when we started constructing the BMX track here in Green River. So in 2023, the rec board had supported a $50,000 grant to construct the BMX track, which we successfully completed. We had a lot of in-kind donations and contributions, so we were able to keep those costs to a minimum to be able to complete that. The pump track, on the other hand, has been a little bit more challenging. The cost to complete it, in order for it to last, 20, 30 years, the capital upfront cost is much more significant than what the BMX track turned out to be. We were hoping that that wasn't the case, but, we took last year to do a little bit more research, who are the companies that are really good at this, that construct these BMX or these pump tracks all over the United States. And we've narrowed it down to American Ramp Company. They've been great. They're well-versed in engaging the community, trying to help us figure out what's the best design. How could we incorporate things that are in our area, you know, like the railroad or something like that, to make it personal to us. So as part of the services that they provide, and you guys will see this come across, we will be doing a lot of community engagement, because this is not just for the BMX community. This is for everyone that likes to ride a bike from any type of skill, for skateboards, rollerblades, anything non-motorized. So the goal is to, you know, we're just more or less championing this for the community, for people who love getting outside and riding their bikes. So that's really our goal. That's our mission, you know, to provide a safe and inclusive environment, encourage healthy lifestyles, support youth development, and community engagement. So I recognize that the ask was hefty, but my goal here is to show these other foundations that we have the support from the community. So we're working with Wyoming Community Foundation, Wyoming Outdoor Research. There's a lot of other foundations that support outdoor recreation. They just wanted to see, okay, Heather, where are you getting some of your funding? And then we'll help you support the remainder. So I know you guys aren't going to be able to do the 300,000. I get that. But, you know, this is a start. It's a multi-year project, and, you know, we're completely okay with that.
So if you don't mind, what is your timeline, or do you have an idea of when you want this completed? Would like to have it completed?
If we are successful, it would be nice to get it done next year, but I know that's a heavy goal.
Yeah.
You know, but I believe it's reachable. I really do. So I went ahead and I signed the contract. I've already talked with Katie. You know, we've ran this through the city, so they're well aware of what we're doing. To start the design process, that in itself takes 3 months. But that portion reaches out to the community. What is everybody interested in? You know, what type of design can we have? They'll put all of this together for us. It's all included in the cost. And these are complete design build, you know, as built, like drawings and everything. So the engineering will be complete. As soon as funding is secured, it's about 10 to 12 months for them to finish the construction. So it could be 3, it just depends. So I've got probably 2 more cycles of grant applications with these other foundations. Got some meetings set up with them, so hoping for the best.
And I would also say you were here, what was it, 3 years ago?
It was in 2023,
Yeah. so
right?
A
Yeah.
couple of years ago,
Mhm.
and they came in and, you know, there were some doubts because just 3 moms showed up, but they did a remarkable job with that BMX tracks. And we helped, I think it was $50,000.
Yes.
We
Mhm.
started with that funding
Yeah.
to help them get started last time.
Well, obviously, you know, we're in a pickle because our funding is getting cut and
Right.
we're not willing to dip into our reserves.
Right.
So if we were to grant you $50,000
Mhm.
to get your project started, the design done, to get
Mhm.
all of the preliminary stuff, you apply for grants, seek funding, everything that you possibly can, and like the city.
Yep.
When a year from now, we'll have a better idea where we're at, and you'll have a better idea where you're at.
Exactly.
And
Mhm.
we want to help because you guys did what you said you were going to do. And that's a great park. We'll walk by it just about every day.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
but if that will help you and we're okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve $50,000 to the BMX park to get their project started. It's what we gave you the first time, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And like I said, every little bit helps. It's just one step closer to reaching the end goal. So we appreciate it very much.
Heather, real quick, the $50,000, it looks like here with the bike park design, the pump track design
Mhm.
and the discount. So the 14,000 is what you guys need to get the design.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the 50,000 would get you well on your way to get the design going and
And hopefully we can secure at least a portion of it. And this is where American Ramp Company comes in. You know, so let's say I can lock in $300,000 for this year, we can structure the design and the construction that way. There's ways that they can piece it. There's ways that they can do maybe just the pump track this year. We can do the bike park. So there's a lot of flexibility, thankfully, that they offer. So you guys continue to see the progress and that we can complete things, as money is available.
I think we need a second.
Yeah, we
I'll
do need a
second that.
Okay. First by Thomas, second by Tate. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I just want to ask, do you have any ideas or plans on how you're going to incorporate the community that isn't part of the BMX?
Yes, so we plan on hosting probably 2 fundraising events. I've already reached out. We're thinking of doing one in Rock Springs, probably Santa Fe. That seems to be like the best location to engage. Probably like in May or June, and then we'll have another one at our open house when we start the races here in Green River. So we've already started planning for that. We'll personally invite businesses, personally invite individuals. I've already been talking with the radio network in Sweetwater now. We've already got some advertising in place. How are we going to reach out? And they're going to help us advertise as well.
And I was referring more to once it's completed, getting the kids or community involved that way, to use it. 'Cause that's a
Yes,
big investment,
I completely agree. Katie mentioned the summer day camp. That's a great place for everybody to come and do that. Let's host, Strider bike races, just anything for the little kids. We love doing that. So it's the positive thing. It's open to the community all the time. You can have your birthday parties there. So I believe that the city will help us. Wyoming Travel and Tourism will help us. They're a great supporter of our club. They help us, with a lot of our big races. And I've already been talking with Allison and everybody there to put this in their magazine, so I think there's a number of things that we can do to help, spread the word. Word of mouth is key anyways in this area. So I have no doubt that this area will be as successful. When we're down there, I brought these guys. When we're working on the track, we're down there all the time and people love that spot. It's beautiful. Why would you not? So they're always walking on the green belt down there. And I think just that in itself would be like, wow, what's going on down here? This is great. So we just,
So I
want
have
that people
one
to be
more
proud.
Clarification, two actually. It's going on the area to the west of the current park, is that right?
That west.
Towards Stratton Myers?
Yes. Yes, correct.
And then, once it's completed, do you guys maintain, I'm asking this for my friend Chuck. So.
I don't know. Katie, do you want to speak up here? Yeah, so with American Ram Company, I'll speak for the contract side of it. The warranty is for a year. And I know Chuck has brought this up too, of what the maintenance cost would be, but the goal is to keep it as maintenance as low as we possibly can. We don't want to impact city, but I know that the city will help us in the same sense.
I'm David, track operator out of Rock Springs, but me and Reed's kind of help each other as far as track maintenance goes, either on the indoor or outdoor here. Ideally, we need to make it as maintenance free as possible. We don't have the resources as volunteers to focus so much time to keep it maintained. There's a lot of avenues with it being open to the public where it could easily get damaged. So if we go with a route where we do a dirt style pump track, it could still accommodate bicycles. It could still accommodate mountain bikes. It leaves out the scooters, leaves out the skateboards. I have pictures on my phone that I could share, but we've been to quite a few pump tracks that are 100% maintenance free. The drainage system is implemented on the inside. It's all asphalt. So once it's completed, it's as simple as go by once a week with a leaf blower, sweep off the rocks, and it's good. There is just the same, being right there off the green belt. It's definitely going to attract more people, I feel like, to the green belt. You come in, you hit the green belt, come by, you hit the pump track. Mountain bikers, essentially, as well as BMX, street bikes, anything with wheels is really good, but keeping it maintenance free is part of why the cost is going to be so much, because that is a big thing. We don't want to come in and throw something in there that's going to cost more money down the road to maintain than it would be to just build it the first time maintenance free.
Yeah, thanks, David. Yeah. And American Ram Company, they're familiar with our environment, we have harsh winters. I don't even know how many of these are in Utah, but they built at least 5 of them in this last year. Yep.
Any other
Any other
questions?
questions? Yep.
Okay, we already got first, second, so.
Yeah, sorry. I just knew, so I don't know all this, but how about liability?
That's something that we're gonna have to address with the city. I don't have the answer to that right now. But as the club, we are self-insured.
But then you would have to be a member of the club to have that.
Correct. Yeah.
Of
The
other people
intent would to donate this back to the city of Green River. That would really be the end goal.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank
Next
you
up-
very much.
Thanks. Next up is the Miracle League. Mrs. Tramp.
I'm Donna Tramp and I'm the director of Miracle League. Right now I have Keeman Maynard. He is one of our baseball players, and with your permission, he would like to pass out our flyers to you so you guys can see our first year as Miracle League players. If that's okay. Be careful over there. And thank you for this opportunity, Superintendent and trustees, for this time that we can present the Miracle League. Last year, we were actually our first year playing as Miracle League. For some of you that don't know our background, we have been the Challenger League since 2013. Basically, it's a special needs opportunity for children and adults with disabilities, no matter their handicap, wheelchair accessible, walkers, nonverbal. We've been able to play baseball at Stratton Myers for the last 13 years. We started with Miracle League because of we are in search of a ADA safe inclusive baseball field, a turf field for our players to play on. We have played down at Stratton Myers since it started, and as you all know, that's a dirt field, and we've had some injuries, and our goal was to try to find a place and some property that we can build a safe field for our kids. Last year, like I said, we started as a Miracle League organization and nonprofit. We've had some fundraisers. We've been able to purchase our mascot, which is Homer, that's on the back. We've been able to purchase our Plan 1. They're our architect in order to design our plan for our field. We are still in the process of looking for property to build our field on, and that is work in the process. But today we are asking for the approval of our uniforms, our liability insurance, which is for 60 players, it's $895. Our games last from May 10th until June 14th. And then we also have a end of the year banquet with rewards and trophies and such. And then we also ask for, let's see, 2,100 for the uniforms, what was it? 245 for equipment. This equipment is lower this year because we still have a pretty good amount of equipment. We do have some helmets that were needed, and also some balls, some updated softballs, because we know that we have 4 teams. We have from 7 years old to 17, and then we have from 18 years old and up. We don't turn any players down. We have people from all over the Sweetwater County that come and play for Miracle League. So it's pretty exciting. Do you have anything you want to say?
Last
Jeez,
year,
go ahead.
Brittany Montgomery, thank you again for this opportunity. I am one of the board members of our Miracle League here in Sweetwater County. Last year we had 50 players.
Actually, it was 62.
Oh, 60. Oh, 62.
Yeah.
Okay.
This year we're asking for 60.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So anyways.
It grew a lot.
It did, yeah. Over the last 2 years, we've actually gained a lot of awareness and we had a lot of people join us last year on Saturdays. And if you ever have the opportunity, please join us. It's a one of a kind experience and it will change your life. So
That's right.
thank you.
Any questions?
I don't have a question, but over the last 2 summers, I have some very dear friends that I consider family that play in the league. If you ever get a chance to go down and
Great.
support this,
Hmm.
do it. It's something special to watch. They involve our other youth leagues in the city. They come down and volunteer their time.
Yes.
It's really good to get our youth down there volunteering their time to help these kids out. Full support of it. I hope you guys get your field soon.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
would be a dream come true.
It's a process, of course, taking longer than we were hoping, but we do have buddy partners that come out and assist our players. And we've had Boy Scouts, we've had Girl Scouts, we've had we've had the Knights baseball players come assist our kids, and they really love that. And we've had softball girls as well from Rock Springs that came over and helped us. And the kids really like to have somebody that's their age instead of, us parents or us old folks, but they love young assistants. And Keeman is one of our players that has joined us a couple of years ago. He's a homeschool student, so this gives him an opportunity to have that social aspect in the community. And so we just thank you for your past support and hopefully your future support.
Any other questions? Yeah, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to support the Miracle League of Sweetwater County for $3,240.
I'll second.
First by Tate, second by Mandy. Any other discussion? Need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we're on to Mr. Beardsley for the amendment on the rec board.
We'll have Mr. JR come and assist here. Good evening, Rec Board Chairman Flom, Vice Chairman Davis, Superintendent Behringer, and Rec Board trustees. The District Activities Department would like to request approval from the Rec Board to consider funds to complete the replacement of the current Wolves Stadium scoreboard. The Activities Department is asking the Rec Board to consider funding of $165,000 to complete this project. We're asking that these funds be approved immediately as an amendment to this year's rec mill funding so that we can proceed with the finalization of the project. We can set up installation date and we can have the scoreboard installed and ready to go for Fall Sports 2025. The activities committee, what I did was I put a committee together in September to start this process, and we discovered that it's a much bigger project than we thought. But our activities department committee proposes the following to the rec board to return, in return for the approval of this funding. And I'm just going to read this real quick. We've asked the scoreboard companies, Nevco and Dektronics, they're two of the biggest in the country, to add permanent sponsorship panels to the scoreboard. One of the companies, Nevco, was able to do this and still keep the project specifications that we asked for. The activities department will work with community partners and businesses to secure donations for the scoreboard project. These community partners and companies will receive a 5-year sponsorship panel on the scoreboard. We'll use the sponsorship money from the scoreboard panels to pay back to the rec mill the $165,000 that you're approving. that we're asking for. After the rec mill fund is paid back, that 165,000, all ongoing and future sponsorship monies from the scoreboard will then be used directly for activities department needs to benefit all the athletes and activities programs in the school district. And with that, a quick look at a couple of slides from JR.
Kathy, will you pull up my slideshow, please? The one on the right. Yep. Okay, we'll keep this very brief. Like John mentioned, 5 slides. Okay, yeah. So I got really excited when Tony asked me to be a part of this. When I was in high school, I would absolutely love something like this. So just a quick slide. Some of the benefits of doing something like this: better game time experience. We're able to play animations, instant replay, do live video. As Tony mentioned, great for fundraising. We can do digital advertising with static sponsorships. We can have those yearly recurring sponsorships, which will be very good for the activities department. Support for every sport. So anything that utilizes the football stadium will be able to integrate with the new scoreboard. So football, soccer, track and field, just to name a few. Educational opportunities. So when I was in high school, this would have been right up my alley. I would absolutely love this. We can get students involved doing video production, broadcasting, marketing, kids with any graphic design, business and computer science. We'll be able to have learning opportunities here. We can work with the companies and kind of get trained on the systems and get student involvement. So I think it'd be very good. Community engagement. We can help engage our community beyond just sports, marching band, dance teams, graduation ceremony, and other community events can use the board. So as Tony mentioned, we got concepts and proposals from the 2 largest companies, number 1 being Daktronics. As you see here, they do not have the static sponsorships, which is something that we really wanted. But in order to use the current structure, they were not able to add it. So Nevco was able to add it. You see there at the bottom, we have 4 static sponsors. So we can have those static sponsors recurring. Here I put together kind of just a overview, Cliff Notes version of those proposals. So the scoreboards, Daktronics was slightly more. Nevco, their installation was significantly more, and the big thing there is a new structure. So they will tear up the old structure, have it engineered and completely replaced to fit this larger board. The Nevco is also 3 feet taller in the video display size than the Daktronics, with a 10-year warranty on the parts. Both have a multi-speaker 1500 sound system that comes with it. And Nevco is also including, for a $15,000 to $20,000 value, a Finish Links track timing system, which I have here. So it's about a $20,000 value, and it's probably actually more like 25. But this is what we use for our track timing system in order to get certified results, which are required for regional and state track meets. So ours is about, how old now, Tony? 10 years? Our current Finish Links, yeah. And we also had an incident a couple of years ago with the wind that kind of took it out. So we need one of these.
So if you look at track meets for us, we don't have the time showing and all that. With the new scoreboard and the integrated finish links, soon as that 100 meters done on that scoreboard, you'll see the scores, just like our swim meets. So
Yep, similar to the swim meet, it completely integrates with the scoreboard.
full
So
finish.
Nevco is including that. Nevco purchased Finish Links, and they have thrown that in with the cost. So that's a $20,000 value on top of the $355,886. Yep.
And so
With that, obviously, we, both of these companies are part of Sourcewell. So they paid to be on that. We're able to look at all the specs, and we are not only asking for the 165,000 that we want to pay back to you through sponsorships, but we're also going to recommend Nevco scoreboards. The city just bought Nevcos for all the fields. We bought one for softball. I'm currently using my operating budget, looking at getting one for the high school field because that's not in good shape. And Star Valley uses Nevco, and so does Evanston. So we're confident and comfortable in asking for the 165,000 amendment so we can complete the project with a Nevco scoreboard.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No, I just want to clarify, we're going with the higher bid because it includes finish links and 10-year warranty instead of 5-year warranty.
And new structure.
And
Structure.
it's the structure that we're really concerned about. The current structure, Tom, they actually welded some of the I-beams on, and it's funny how Nevco comes and says, now, wait a minute, you want this scoreboard?
Was not my welding class.
Yeah. And no one knows. I mean, Doug has dug deep, you know, when those were put up. We're not 100% sure, those I-beams that are currently there. So as an engineer, you're coming in, and if you're Nevco, you're saying, let's replace all of that. Let's get it where it needs to be. So.
And then just for clarification for everybody, the 165,000 that we're going to approve today is going to get reimbursed through advertising. And as I understand, you already have almost all of that procured. Is that correct?
I have, I've talked to people. Yes. So, I bring in 15 to 20 on sponsorships right now. This should be much better. I've talked to 3 specific companies that are extremely interested in doing like a 5-year, $25,000 or different things like that. We can do commercial for them and everything, but because we asked for 200,000 last year, the project was way bigger than we thought. To get what we want as a community, to fix that structure and do it right, I still felt that it was important, and so did our committee, to pay that money back. We do need the money to finish the project, but we want to pay that back. So we are very confident that yes, we can do so.
Mr. Beardsley, did you have a timeline when you would expect to be able to pay that full amount back?
Well, let's put it this way. My hope is that if we just get 4 sponsors this first year and they pay us 25,000 apiece, we'll already have 100,000 that'll go back right away. So we didn't want to put a timeline on it just because I didn't want to. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking within 2 to 3 years is the timeline, or earlier. The sooner the better, so that I can start bringing in funds for activities. We're not going to ask for anything else as a department for next year's rec meal. We'll hold off on all that. We need to finish this project, so we're not going to ask for other funding. So no specific timeline, Mr. Toman, only because I just don't know for a fact.
Need a motion?
I'll motion to approve 165,000 to finish the Nevco scoreboard project that we committed to, rec board committed to 2 years ago, if I recall.
Last year.
A second.
First by Tom, second by Mandy. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Discuss this. So.
So that finishes up with all requests.
No, we got
No.
one more. Katie's got an amendment.
Oh, sorry, Katie.
Oh, good evening, Chairman Flom, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. Now that that has been approved, I am asking to make an amendment to the rec board expenditures to include the increase to the Wolves Stadium scoreboard.
So move.
Second.
Okay, Tom and Ashley, first and second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We're cutting into the other board, so we'll make our comments quick, hopefully.
We don't have to do comments.
Okay, then we won't worry about it unless somebody had something super important. Okay, meeting's adjourned.
Yeah, meeting's adjourned.
Means.
We'll take just a brief recess.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break and then come right back to begin the next meeting.
Sorry, we're starting a little late, but we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We're going to ask that Mrs. Nielsen's students lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed.
Hi. Melissa Crowell. Hello, board, Berenger et al. I want to bring your attention to a significant development from the Federal Department of Education. They've issued a directive to all state education departments mandating that any efforts related to diversity, equity, and inclusion be ceased immediately. This likely means a reevaluation of the current curriculum in many classrooms. One immediate and tactical move that we can make to ensure compliance is to halt the $1 million expenditure on new curriculum, specifically one like Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, which promotes DEI elements as a core feature of its programs. On their website, HMH explicitly highlights their commitment to DEI and social emotional learning, along with public support for movements like Black Lives Matter. More concerning, several states have already rejected HMH's curriculum for its historical biases, particularly regarding political perspectives that conflict with conservative viewpoints. I know there may be concerns about the district missing out on federal funds by not following DEI-related directives. However, I urge you to consider the legal landscape. The Wyoming House Bill 147, known as Prohibition of Institutional Discrimination, makes it clear that DEI initiatives are not aligned with state law either. The state government is unified in its stance against DEI being incorporated into curriculum, evaluations, and professional development. I'm looking for clarity on how the district plans to navigate this conflict between its current practices, state law, and federal directives. It's essential that we take immediate action to align with both state and federal mandates. And to further showcase my concerns and reasons, I hope you all would take some time to read through my documentation. I'm also more than willing to provide additional information if it's required. Thanks, and I welcome any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, Melissa, for the information. Mr. Heslop.
Madam Chair, Superintendent Berenger, Board of Trustees. I wanted to make you aware of some discussion that we had in our school just the other day. It was regarding graduation. We've had several parents, actually quite a few parents, express concern about the seating available at our graduation and asked us to consider having an outdoor graduation on the 31st of May. We'd like to do so. And we are also going to make sure that we have a contingency plan so that in the event that we have another rainstorm like we did 5 years ago, that we're ready to go and we don't have to make that 1 hour transition to pull it off live like we did in the past. I just wanted to let you know what we were talking about, and I hope you guys are okay with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Madam Chair, Superintendent Berenger and Board of Trustees. Last Thursday, our basketball teams attended the regional basketball tournament along with our cheer team. And if you weren't aware, the theme of the weekend was Sweetwater Strong. And little did we know that the weather was going to play such a role with our travel plans for getting back from Rock Springs. And so, unfortunately, our teams were unable to safely get back on the interstate to get home that evening. And I just wanted to publicly recognize a few of the folks that came together from Rock Springs and helped us out. We had the LDS Church came forward, as well as the Clarion Hotel came, and they were being remodeled. So They had 11 rooms available for us to use, which we were able to get all of our athletes and cheerleaders and coaches and bus drivers and everyone, as well as many community members who volunteered their houses to house our team. So I just wanted to publicly recognize them for coming together again as Sweetwater Strong and helping us out when it was unsafe for us to get home that evening. But it was really nice to have their support in a time where it was quick decisions had to be made and lots of folks came together to make those. But we just wanted to publicly recognize those folks. So
Thank you. We really do have a great community. Do we have any other comments? Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. I need a motion to approve the agenda. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. We have recognition of the 2025 University of Wyoming Trustee Scholar Award winners. Sorry, I'm not trying to skip you. These ones are important.
Okay, I won't take offense. Again, thanks for letting me come up here to visit with you for a minute. I'd like to recognize a young man, Mark Hildebrandt. He earned the Wyoming Trustees Scholar this year. And for those of you that aren't real familiar with it, it's a very prestigious scholarship award that is provided to highly qualified applicants. And it's a very, very competitive scholarship. And it's going to help him substantially if he decides to go to the University of Wyoming. That's a decision he gets to make, and he needs to make it before the first part of May. So I'm excited that he has the opportunity to do this, and I hope he takes advantage of it if that's where he wants to go and what he wants to do. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations to him. Okay, 2.03, give me a break. Mr. Berenger.
Time to draw my name. Trevor Russa, maintenance.
All right.
Yes, give me a hammer.
Doug looks excited. Okay, now we'll move on to 3.01, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Tate, second by Mandy. We also need to make a motion to add 9.15. Consider approval of snow makeup day. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll motion to approve 9.15 added to the agenda.
Motion by Tom,
A second.
second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to add 9.15. And then I make a motion, right? And then any. Oh, okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda items. I needed a motion to approve the consent agenda items with removal of 4.08 and the addition of 4.11.
So moved.
Moved by Mandy, second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to district goals and activities. 5.01, we need to plan a Granger meet and greet in April. Some proposed dates that I have are April 7th, 9th, or 10th. Is anybody available any of those days?
What were those again, Ashley?
It's that second week of April. So the 7th is a Monday, the 9th or the 10th, a Wednesday or Thursday.
I could do the 9th.
I will be out of town all week that week.
Okay,
I'm good with any of them.
any of them?
I am too.
Okay. Did one work best for,
Yep. Nope.
Any of them?
Best. Yep. Any of them.
how about we just do the 7th? Does that work? Okay, we'll plan on April 7th, meet here at,
The 7th will work for me too.
it does, okay. Oh, I forgot you said the 9th.
Yeah,
But there's a
I'm
track meet
good.
that day too. Okay. At
April
what
7th.
time?
We usually meet here about 5 and then we'll
Okay.
drive out. And so we'll have cars available and
Okay.
you can ride with us or ride your own vehicle, whatever. But we typically leave here about 5, right, Mary?
Is that the 7th or 9th?
7th.
April 7th?
Yes.
5 p.m.
And it usually takes but we were out there about a half hour and meet with the teacher and community members.
Perfect. Thank you. And then discussion, we need to have discussion on the interest-based negotiation date. A proposed date would be April 24th. It's a Thursday. It's in the general timeline of when we normally do it. Does that work for
Yeah, I'm good.
Doing that at night?
Yes, in the evening.
Yeah,
I
we
think
we
so.
usually serve dinner. It's usually we
5?
serve dinner about 5, and then after everybody's here, and what'll happen is representatives from the Wyoming Education Association will come down and kind of guide us through. They lead that discussion between us and the faculty.
Okay, we'll go ahead and plan on the 24th. Okay, we'll move on to 6.01, consider approval of certified retirement requests. Dr. Fuss.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, trustees. We have 2 retirements for your consideration tonight. The district wishes these folks the best. Michelle Cordova, school nurse at Harrison Elementary, Doreen Frankham, special ed instructor at Lincoln Middle School. Thank you for your consideration.
Can I get
To approve the 2 certified retirements.
motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Tate? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you to them for all of their many, many years. Okay, moving on, 6.02, approval of certified resignation requests.
Thank you, Madam Chair, trustees. We have 5 resignations tonight for your consideration. Jordan Wasia, physical education teacher at Green River High School. Shayla Ivy, 3rd grade teacher at Monroe Elementary. Julie Burgess, STEM teacher, Harrison Elementary. Kathy Stanton, STEM teacher, Lincoln Middle School. And Holly Hunt, 4th grade teacher at Monroe Elementary School. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
To approve the certified resignations.
Moved by Tommy,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next, we will hear a presentation on the proclamation for Wyoming's first female governor. Mrs. Nelson.
Good evening, Madam Chair Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, and members of the board. Our senior government class was invited by Sweetwater County Historical Museum to write a proclamation to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the inauguration of the first female governor of Wyoming, Nellie Taylor Ross. In 1922, Nellie's husband was elected governor of Wyoming. Sadly, 2 years later, he passed away. Nellie was then nominated to run for governor. She ran and won, becoming the first woman governor in America. She advocated for banking reforms, education, farmers' rights, and more during her term. And in 1962, she barely lost the re-election. But she wasn't done. In 1933, she became director of the Bureau of the Mint, once again breaking barriers and holding the highest office that a woman had ever held at that time.
Good evening. I was asked to prepare a speech for tonight regarding our recent meeting with the governor, a significant event with the potential to positively influence our community. As we embarked on this project, I had concerns that it might lose momentum over time. I feared that we might collectively forget our goals and achievements, rendering all our hard work and dedication inconsequential in the eyes of the community we aim to serve. However, despite these initial doubts, it has become increasingly clear that our commitment to this undertaking has proven to be fruitful in many significant ways. Not only did we successfully engage with our local government, but we also had the privilege of participating in a monumentous initiative that culminated in an inspiring meeting with the governor, an experience that will be forever etched in our memories. Witnessing the signing of our proclamation will always hold a special place in my heart, as it represents the concerted efforts, dedication, and passion we all contributed to this meaningful cause. A pivotal moment in our journey was when Mrs. Nielsen presented the project to us. Her knowledge and insights into the life and legacy of Nellie Taylor Ross were nothing short of invaluable. She possessed a fervor for Ross's accomplishments that ignited a spark within each of us, motivating us to delve deeper into the extraordinary life of a woman who broke barriers and paved the way for future generations. Following her guidance, we were encouraged to think critically and creatively, crafting individual whereas statements that would encapsulate both the essence of Nellie Taylor Ross's life and her enduring contributions to society. This challenging task pushed us to reflect deeply on her character and the lasting impact she had on her community and beyond. Once each of us had taken the time to compose our individual whereas statements, we convened to combine our collective efforts into a single document. This process was collaborative and engaging, filled with discussions, debates, and a dynamic exchange of ideas. As we worked together, it became evident that we were not just creating words on a page, but crafting a narrative that honored Ross's legacy and our shared values. Mrs. Nielsen then dedicated her time to edit our collaborative work, ensuring that it flowed cohesively and accurately, represented our shared vision. After much deliberation and thoughtful consideration, we reached a consensus, ultimately agreeing upon a final proclamation that encapsulated our collective admiration and respect for Nalo Taylor Ross. The day we presented our proclamation to the governor was one of the most exhilarating moments of our lives. When he read our carefully crafted proclamation, his reaction was genuinely heartfelt. He was so impressed that he came down and signed it himself. It was a moment of pride for all of us, a tangible acknowledgement of our efforts and a validation of our hard work. On that memorable day, we all boarded a bus filled with excitement and anticipation, riding down to the courthouse. The atmosphere buzzed with energy as we prepared for his speeches. I had the privilege to listen to our beloved Mrs. Nielsen eloquently speak about our class and the rigorous process we went through to create this proclamation. It was inspiring to hear her recount the journey in such detail. Following her heartfelt introduction, I had the distinct honor of giving a speech to introduce our governor. As he stepped up to the podium to address us, the anticipation in the room was palpable. After he delivered his speech, which was filled with encouragement and praise for our efforts, he signed the proclamation, an act that solidified our achievement. The joy we felt at that moment was immeasurable, and we had the opportunity to shake his hand and capture the moment with pictures, preserving our memories of this remarkable day. As I stand before you tonight, I am filled with gratitude for the opportunity to be part of this journey. It is not merely about the proclamation itself, but more importantly about the unity and camaraderie we developed along the way. Each of us contributed our unique talents, perspectives, and insights, creating a tapestry of collaboration that made our project all the more enriching. We can all take immense pride in our collective achievements and the relationships we fostered, looking forward to what lies ahead while cherishing the experiences we've shared. I hope our journey serves as a reminder that when we come together with common purpose, we can achieve great things. Let this be a continued inspiration for us all to pursue our goals, support one another, and strive to make a meaningful impact in our community. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you share in the pride of what we've accomplished together.
As Ms. Nielsen's senior government class, we had the opportunity not only to present.
Hi, Green River High School Wolves. My name is Senator Cynthia Lyon.
Don't worry, I'll summarize it. We had the amazing opportunity to not only meet with the governor of Wyoming, but to also have our resolution go to not only Wyoming Congress, but also to the National Congress. And this caused great excitement within our class, but also within our community. You can see it on the screen now, but it caused it to go all the way to National Congress with the people in not only Wyoming, but in the nation at large to understand and realize the impact that Nellie Taylor Ross had on women's rights, and specifically coming from Wyoming. It was incredible. That was one of the representatives that we have in Congress, and she talked about how incredible it was for her to read a resolution that was written by students in the United States, specifically in Wyoming. A lot of times we're forgotten because we're like the smallest state ever, but we still have a really big impact, and that specifically relates to women's rights and being able to be recognized not only in our own community, but also by the governor of Wyoming. Going all the way to National Congress was such an amazing opportunity, and they're continuing to update us. And the entire experience was incredible. And we will probably remember the things that we've done in this class for the rest of our lives.
All right, as you know, me and my peers got a chance to work with Ms. Nielsen, truly a one-of-a-kind teacher, and put together this proclamation just for the 100th inauguration of the nation's first ever female governor. And I just want to say a special thank you to everyone involved in this, and especially to Ms. Nielsen for really putting us together and just making it very special. And it's definitely something that the entire class is going to remember for the rest of our lives, and something we're just going to tell our kids about. And I just want to really say thank you to Ms. Nielsen.
All right, sorry, I know we're kind of going time, but so this was actually a part of the RIDE initiative, or I used this as an opportunity to apply the RIDE initiative, which is Governor Gordon's ideas. It stands for Reimagining and Innovating the Delivery of Education. And the purpose is to help our students gain skills for success inside and outside of the classroom with confidence, communication, critical thinking and analysis. And as you can hear from their stories, I think they did that, especially from the interviews and things that came afterwards. And I'm just so proud of them. In my speech to the governor, I said, I'm going to cry again. I cried there too. I said, I'm so proud of these kids. I had them in the 7th grade, and so it's been a special treat to have them again as seniors. But I told him, these are the future, and they are one that Green River High School, our school district in the state of Wyoming, should be proud of. Oh, Amy, sorry, I forgot Amy Brett. She actually created some artwork, which she gave the governor, and he gave her, bring it up here. He gave her one of his personalized coins. These are pretty rare. It's called the challenge coin. Why don't you tell them about it? Okay. It's called the challenge coin. And it's just about carrying the characters of Wyoming with us where we go and challenging us to share those with others. And so she got this special coin. That was a pretty cool opportunity as well. And I took the proclamation to be framed, and it wasn't done in time. And I'm so sorry because it's really cool. So stop by my classroom after, you can see it. Thank you.
I have to say, Mr. Heslop and I went down and watched the proclamation with the governor. It was an extraordinary event, and good job on making our district look good to you guys and Miss Nielsen, and some of the work that we've done in the ride was very evident there, which the governor, it's his educational project. So it even made it better for all of us that he could see what we were doing in our district. So thanks, Bridget.
Very cool.
Or Miss Nielsen.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, and great job to all of you. That's amazing. We're going to move on to 7.02, presentation on summer school. Dr. Demery.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees. Something our students are always excited about, summer school. So with our calendar finishing up in June this year, we felt like it was important to kind of review how we manage our summer school dates and our days so that we can kind of maximize the instruction that we provide. And so we just wanted to be more informational sharing and be transparent with our different stakeholders as well so they can make plans. But so we'll just quickly go through a little bit of what we're planning, and I can offer any answers to questions that you might have. So for our elementary folks, again, with us ending in the first week in June, we felt like it was important to give kids a short break there. And then we're going to go 3 days a week this summer, going from 8:15 in the morning to noon, where students will be able to receive instruction in language arts and math and also physical education each week. There's breakfast and lunch available at Monroe as well, which is where we host our summer school session, which is really nice because the GRASS program is also at Monroe. So some of those kids can benefit from going right from summer school to the GRASS program, and it really helps parents out, which is a little bit different than in the past, which we've had our summer school session go right away after school's out for 4 weeks, and then they get the duration of the summer off. We felt like this was more, I think, just led to having instruction throughout the summer, so we didn't have such a gap in learning, as well as some instruction right before the school year starts. They'll still get about a week and a half off before they have to return and teachers return. So hopefully it also gives parents longer weekends with their families, 4-day weekends each weekend. So they feel like they still have some summer, but we're excited to get that going. And that'll run from June 17th to July 31st. Our middle school will also be offering a summer school session. It'll be at the high school as they've done in the past, and it'll be from 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. They'll receive, or till noon, I apologize. Made a small change there. And then They'll work on language arts and math, as well as having PE once a week. And breakfast and lunch is available at the high school, so that's why we have it at the high school. And we'll go from June 9th to July 3rd. They felt like with the middle school students, they kind of like to get them they still have them in that routine, and then give them that little bit longer break after they're done with their acquiring skills. And we do have transportation available, of course, for all of our students through summer school. The high school, if you're unfamiliar, they really focus on credit recovery. So any classes that students may have failed in any given year, they're able to come in and do an online portion of that through Plato. One of the things we're going to do a little bit different this year is also offer some in-person classes during that 4-week session to try to target some classes that are not available online so that students can recover those credits. That's also going to run from June 5th. So they start right after school's out and go till June 27th with the option for some students if they still need a few more days that week of the 4th of July. This is open to both students from the high school and Expedition. And they only have to attend until they're finished with their course. So some students may be done in a week, some may be done in a couple weeks. And if they have multiple credits to recover, they can stay there as long as they'd like to try to earn those credits back. So it's a really nice opportunity for those students. And we do have certified teachers that are there to assist them with that online material. Again, the two main sites that offer those breakfast and lunches to students in the community are the high school in Monroe, and so we're excited to host those two buildings for our summer schools. We also offer ESY, which is our extended school year, which is available to special education students to continue to work on goals if that's what's been determined by their IEP teams. We offer those at a variety of buildings. As you can see, we have our behavior program does that at Monroe Elementary. We have Harrison, which has our life skills and total care program just due to the equipment and things that they're needing there. Truman does their extended resource program. And then our high school has our life skills and transition program, as well as an academic support program for students that need specific support with academics. And so, again, most of those buildings have, or two of those buildings will have breakfast available and lunch, and we provide transportation. But that mirrors our elementary schedule. So they go 3 days a week. We have a morning session and an afternoon session so we can support all of our students. But we've had really successful attendance with that over the last many years. So we're excited to offer that. And and then we have our ELL program. Sorry. So our Jumpstart program we've done for many years as well. And that runs from July 28th to August 8th. And that is a full day with 2 sessions. And it's really to focus on language acquisition, English language acquisition for our students that are language learners. They also have a breakfast and lunch available at Monroe. So we're excited to continue to offer that. And they do that right before the school year. So they can try to maximize some routines and get kids going on some of the kind of how school works and just that language acquisition. So, all right. Not sure if you have any questions, but we just wanted to offer that information out to everyone. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to 8.01. Consider approval of E-rate bid results for battery backup and switch replacement. JR.
Thank you, Madam Chair Castilian, Superintendent Behringer, members of the board. We got our E-rate proposals back for this year, replacement switches and as well as the batteries for our battery backups at all of our buildings. We had 2 bids. Well, one was kind of a half bid. They only bid on the UPS, so they did not bid on the switch replacement. So it's an incomplete quote, makes it kind of easy. So we're requesting that we go with advanced network management for $106,049.25.
Which the district is responsible for 42.
Yes, so we would only be paying 42,000 because E-rate will cover the other 60%.
Thank you for the clarification. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Mandy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 9.01, we'll hear a presentation on Region 5 BOCES mill funds. Mr. Mayor.
Madam Chair, Superintendent, members of the board, thanks for having me here tonight. To start, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Dan Mayer. I'm the Executive Director for BOCES 5. And each spring, we go around, we make our official request for mill funds, and that's what I'm here to do tonight. And so what you have in your packet is a presentation, which is up on your screen. I'm not going to go through it slide by slide. I'm going to give you a general overview of that information. We also have an executive summary for more of the highlights of that information. And I just want to hit a few of the highlights and go through what's in that package for you, and then stand for any questions. And I'm always available later to answer any questions because I have a lot of information. I don't know what everybody particularly wants, so I want to be able to give time to be able to ask questions about the information I did provide. And so at the beginning of the presentation, it just tells a little bit about us to orientate yourself to who we are. We're a member. We have two primary services. So you can see up there, collaborative educational solutions. So we primarily have schools and outreach services. So we operate 6 schools. 2 schools really impact you. That's CBAR-V residential program, which is located in Jackson, Wyoming. And then we have Roosevelt Learning Center, which is located in Green River, which you approved our lease for next year to continue to operate in that school. So thank you. Great partnership. Those schools are really operated for special services students to provide the least restrictive environment option for them. As you know, your special ed program services the majority of your students within the classroom. Now and again, for various reasons, students may not be appropriately needs be met in the school district. And so we create those environments. In special ed law, they give us a continuum of those services from being fully included into serving kids, and even sometimes into prison or even in their homes because their needs are so restrictive. We provide a day school and a residential treatment facility for those two populations of students is a primary service. And I'll go through some numbers. The other area that we really work in is outreach. And currently I have in your packet, we have, we are serving 65 students in our schools currently. We've had 27 successfully exit. So we have a very fluid population. A lot of times our students won't stay with us for the full year. They can be with us from anywhere up to over a year to just a few months. And so when students exit, oftentimes that's a good thing. They've progressed enough where they're able to exit successfully back into their school. Our outreach program has served 22 additional districts through various services. And we are expanding some professional development opportunities, 2 big ones that are coming up that I would note. We're having an artificial intelligence conference where we're bringing an expert from out east to bring teams together to really strategize at their district level of where we can take artificial intelligence and bring that forward with schools, because schools are just starting in different places with that. And so we wanted to maybe be able to help facilitate some of that dialogue, because I think we're all scrambling. And the other one that we're working on is an executive function conference to really work with students in their executive function difficulties and provide strategies for teams to be able to do that. Funding mechanisms. My presentation goes into our different funding mechanisms. Essentially 90% of our fees, 90% of our revenue is developed by the fees that we develop. So we don't receive any state funding. So other funding mechanisms. So we have fees. 6% of our budget, our revenue comes from mill levies. 4% comes from grants. Those grants are really flow throughs. We provide those grants on we purchase those grants, and then it typically maybe will benefit the district back. So it's really a net. It doesn't add to our bottom line to be for like operations. I guess I'm trying to say they're mostly a flow through. And then we have some financial reports. Since we're asking for those, we'd like to give Our financial records were audited every year, so you can see our budget's really simple. I think we have 3 budget areas: general fund, capital, and our grants. And so that's what's in there. One of the questions the district asked was the why we make this funding request, and really in regards to funding what we do, because we are not eligible for some of the funding mechanisms the school district have, we need to come up, especially for our capital costs, for our facilities, we need to come up with other, and state statute allows us through our member districts to be able to mill a tax up to 0.5 without going to the public. And so historically, we come to our member districts and ask for the 0.2 of a mill. We utilize that. The utilization of the mill funds are limited. We are only allowed to use that for capital, technology, and those things. Bottom line, they're not to be used for salary. Our salaries are generated by the fees that we have. So if we create a program, our fees need to be able to cover the salaries. So it's really the capital project. And we have a big capital project we're working on, and it's CBAR-V. Currently, we're licensed for 45 beds. We can safely have 30 students there at the most. Currently, we have 26 or 27. If you understand our operations, we hardly ever get to our max amount because we have kids coming and going, and the mixture of those students is very important when we're getting to full capacity. And so many facilities, we just went on a facility tour because we're starting to get architects, and we feel like our design is going to be very important. And we met with another facility in Wyoming, and their capacity is 80, and they're only going to take 40 because they cannot find staffing. And so a lot of people are saying, why are you continuing to consider to stay in Jackson with your residential? Is because we're established, but we do have a line of staffing. If we can figure out how to make our facilities more safe for the new population of students that we're taking, we feel like we can provide some very humble places for people to start when they come in there and want to ski. It's the population of residential staff that we've been utilizing for 40 years. And as long as we feel like we can get the kids there, we feel like we can get the staffing. And so part of our strategic plan is to leverage that opportunity, where in other communities in Wyoming, it may be a little bit more difficult to find some of those frontline staff that work with some of our difficult students. And so we're also moving into looking into some fundraising capital to help offset. When you look at what we have and just our projected cost for next year, it's $4 million. Our total project cost is in the 30 million. All told, if everyone gave us mill funds, we would nowhere in this year come near that amount. So we're looking for alternative funding sources. We've contacted different not state senator, our senators and our representatives at the federal level to see if there's any funding opportunities. So we're definitely going and looking for alternative sources to be able to get this capital, because we feel like once we get that and we're able to get the capacity, that would ultimately reduce the cost to the state. Because right now we're trying to, our facilities are very dated and aged, and we're just not, it's economy of scale of more kids, less cost sort of thing. And right now we need to get the facilities to be able to safely take those students that we have. And so, I think I'll stand there. That's any questions about anything in the information I have, or really anything is fair game?
I don't have any questions. Does anybody?
I appreciate your newsletter that or the updates that you send out monthly. I think it's about monthly.
Yep.
Those are very helpful things.
Thank you. That's one thing we're really trying to do, is communicate more regularly. I'd like to come to this board, not asking for mill levies, and just tell you about the good work that we're doing. I have to come here and ask for the mill levy and all of that, but I think behind a lot of that, there's a lot of good services, a lot of good work, and I don't want always that to distract. And some of our board members have said, maybe come out at different times when we're not talking about the mill funds and just talk about the programming and the services and the impact that we're having. So we're definitely going to take you all up on that and just come out here briefly and give more updates to some of those other factors, and not just when it's time for the mill funds. So.
Perfect. Thank you. We would appreciate that.
All right.
0.2 is what we currently give, right?
Yep. Yep.
We don't have to approve today, right? Oh, we do.
We typically.
Oh, okay.
Do I need a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a
And that-
motion to approve 0.2 mils for Region 5 BOCES.
Motion by Tom,
I'll second it.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, 9.02, presentation on financial forecast and legislative session. Katie Carter.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Behringer, and trustees. I am here to give you a budget and legislative update. We are starting to put our budget together. Here is a list of some budget considerations. Of course, taking care of and retaining employees is one of our top priorities for the board. This is our first year post ESSER, and I believe we are doing a great job thanks to all our administrators. We are also continuing to look at inflation and the decrease in ADM. On the next slide, I have a chart about ADM and where we are as of today. Another impact to the budget is the Toman School. Because we are using the 3-year rolling average, for students, we still maintain the funding for Toman School. However, if we use the actual ADM, we lose the funding, or once the 3 years is done, it drops off unless we get another student. Our average daily membership is at about 2247. We will be using the 3-year rolling average, which is about a 31 decrease in ADM, and that will affect the budget. However, a new ECA for the 25-26 school year was signed by the governor. Professional and support staff increased by 8.5%. Energy went down and supplies slightly went up. This will help increase the budget amount. They also sustained the previous year's ECAs. There is no adjustment to the model health insurance. However, some of the larger school districts changed their health insurance plans, and so that changes our health insurance composite, which is a slight decrease for our health insurance funding. We also got an increase in our health insurance premiums. Of course, we will be reimbursed for our special education and transportation increases from this year and next year's guarantee. WSBA, you guys should all be getting those emails. Send those out, and there is a 25 education bills. And this is really nice because they send out this documentation with hyperlinks. You can click on the hyperlinks. It'll take you straight to WYO legislators' website, and you can read about the bills that you want to look at. Another bill that is going to affect our district is the property tax relief bill. This will affect our optional mill levies such as the rec board. And that's it. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, good job, Katie.
I don't have a
Oh.
question. I just want to add that it also affects BOCES.
Yes.
Those two, rec mill and BOCES, are all funded through property tax. So depending on how it impacts us, but you could see us losing some funding along the way, which ultimately affects programs. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to 9.03, consider approval of general fund amendment for 2024-25.
Okay. The new curriculum purchases were approved at the last board meeting. I am here asking to make an amendment to the general fund expenditures to include the full price of the curriculum. It was originally budgeted at $750,000 for 2 years, but it was all done in 1 year. And so that's why we have the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the general fund amendment for 2024-25?
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second.
second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 9.04. Consider approval of membership with Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program Participation Agreement.
Okay, we talked about this at the rec board meeting. We are asking for approval to be part of Sourcewell, a cooperative purchasing program for the general fund as well. This is much like Northeast BOCES, which we have used in the past. Sourcewell works with school districts around the country, helping with the bidding and purchasing requirements, and it's a free service to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve the membership with Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program participation?
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Mandy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving on. 9.05, consider approval of the revision to policy CB, school superintendent, second reading. Dr. Fuß.
Thank you, Madam Chair Castilian, Superintendent Berenger, trustees. Really, there's only one policy in the group of policies that have an adjustment. We will continue one more month, public vetting for comments and inviting those comments to Super 8 and to the board and to the district if general concerns of the patrons. So thank you for your consideration for the second reading on CB tonight.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve CB superintendent second reading.
I second.
Moved by Tom, second by Tommy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, moving down the list, 9.06 CBA Superintendent of Schools, second reading.
Can I get a motion to approve? This one had no changes. correct?
That's correct. I'll stop at the one where we have the
Okay,
adjustment.
perfect.
I move to approve policy CBA in its second reading.
Moved by Tommy, second by Mandy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 9.07 policy CBG, second reading, evaluation of the superintendent.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
9.08 CCB, line and staff relations. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Mandy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 9.09 CF, school building administration, second reading.
Motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve CF school building administration second reading.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Mandy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
9.10 CHCA, approval of handbooks. You can see in the blue sentence there addressing Mrs. Crowell's addition and suggestion at the last board meeting. That is an insertion by Super 8. This is the one policy with the adjustment, approval of handbooks and directives. Thank you for your consideration on the second reading.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Yeah, go ahead.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 9.11 CA, administration, goals and priority objectives.
I'll motion to approve policy CA, administration goals, and priority objectives, second reading.
Moved by Tom,
I second.
second by Tommy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. 9.12 CBD, superintendent's contract.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Mandy,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 9.13 CBJ, superintendent's termination of employment, second reading.
Motion to approve.
I move to approve policy CBJ in its second reading.
Motion by Tommy,
Second.
second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last one, Madam Chair, 9.14 CFB, evaluation of administrators other than the superintendent.
Thank you.
I'll motion to approve CFB, evaluation of administration, other than the superintendent. Second.
Moved by Tom. Second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair, trustees.
Okay, 9.15, consider approval of snow makeup day. Mr. Berenger.
Okay, if you were in Green River last week, you realized we didn't have school on Friday. We had a scheduled half day and a staff development day. We have, I'm hoping that we can, you will approve the rescheduling for a Thursday, April 17th, that was scheduled as staff development day for half student day, half staff development. Then we will switch that staff development day to Friday, May 23rd, which was a scheduled snow day. But that does is it allows us, if we have another snow day or snow comes in, we can't go to school, that still allows us a day without going on at the end of the year. And if you remember, that was a very popular thing 2 years ago when we had to add a couple extra days at the end of the year. So anyway, if you approve this, we will get it sent to the state tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the snow makeup day for Thursday, April 17th, half student day, half staff development day, and then moving May 23rd, the scheduled snow day to the staff development day?
So moved.
Moved by Michelle,
Second.
second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to our superintendent and board comments. Do you want to start, Tommy?
Yeah, it's a busy week coming up. It was cool to see the community pull together. These events always make me reflect back and just feel how proud I am to be a member of this community, whether that's pulling together for certain circumstances like the weather or events like Love Local. So great to see the community support.
Thank you. Mandy?
I just wanted to thank Leah Kinnison and Kevin Jelinas. I've been out in the district a little bit, kind of looking at the different departments. I'm still trying to get out to all of the buildings. So if you haven't heard from me, you will. Like I've said before, we have a lot of passion in our district. And I appreciate that. And that's why I ran for the school board, because you guys make our job easy. So thank you for that and what you guys do. Good luck to the girls basketball team as they head to state. That was pretty awesome, winning regionals. Spring breaks next week, so I hope everyone has a safe and fun break, whether you do nothing or go on a trip. Stay safe, and we'll see you when you get back.
Thank you. Okay, Dan.
Same thing. Very busy week for a lot of people in the district with all the stuff we have going on. We have parent teacher conferences going on, and then we're getting ready for spring break on top of it. So a lot of stuff going on. The community involvement is amazing what we can do when we actually put our head down and just get stuff done. Other than that, that's all I really got.
Thank you. Michelle?
I just, every time I come, I just get more proud to be part of school district number 2. So thank you for everything you guys do, and appreciate Bridget, and wow, she's come full circle. I knew her since she was 12, so 7th grade.
Okay, Tom.
Yeah, well, I'll echo the girls' basketball. First time we've won a regional championship since 1998.
All right.
That was back about your time, wasn't it, Ashley? I mean, well.
Oh, you're making me younger. I'll take it.
Good luck to them. A great accomplishment. Katie, thank you so much for your work with the budget. Alan, you might have to help me with this, but I believe it was the Star Valley girls basketball. that what kind of community and a state that we live in. You know, we had several tragedies over the last weeks, specifically the Wilson family and their girls basketball team had a fundraiser, raised over $3,000. So hats off to them. That's an amazing thing. Just good to be a part of, and hats off to this board. I know this is a busy week for us trying to replace the irreplaceable. So but it's a good process, and thank all of you for your professionalism, and just appreciate you.
Thank you. Tate.
I had a lot of stuff written down, but going last kind of everybody's taking it. So Alan, Sweetwater strong. I think that's echoed in our community over the last month. The chaos that ensued in the tunnels recognized the first responders. In the midst of tragedy and everything that was happening, we got to recognize them for going into it. When people are in a panic and don't know what really is going on, they step up and ensue the chaos and try to help us out and put the community's mind at ease. Thank you for everybody in the school district for the support this week. We got a busy week. Superintendent hire is no joke. The students that gave the forums, the admin, the staff, the chamber for helping to put it on, and all the community members, the outreach, giving us their feedback is irreplaceable. I was going to commend the Star Valley community. Thanks for doing that, Tom. Good luck to the high school girls. BOCES 5. I'm getting my feet wet in that. It's a whole nother board. It's fun to learn, and I've been to the Roosevelt School. They do a good job there. I hope they keep up the good work, and I appreciate that we let them use one of our buildings to help the kids out in the community. So thanks everybody for being here, and it's been a fun ride this week. We got another busy couple nights.
Okay, Greg.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to thank Bridget Nielsen. She did an outstanding job, and we are fortunate in this district. We have lots of Bridgets in our schools. But she joined us on the RIDE program this last fall, and she just did a great job. We had lots of you saw Justin Lamb at a board meeting. So there's a lot of good things going with that. But I also like to thank the board. You guys are like you've all said, lots of hours this week with everything going on. And because of that, I think I've asked Katie, we'll double your pay. So thank you for your time. And for those that the math 0 times 0 is 0. So thank you guys.
Thank you. I would echo all of those comments. Also love local. We did a great job raising money in the midst of all that. I think there was a lot of other fundraising going on for the various tragedies. So we have a wonderful community. I just also want to thank the WSBA for helping us through the superintendent search and being available anytime we have any sort of questions. Good luck to everybody with parent-teacher conferences, and enjoy that time talking with parents and students, and have a great spring break. With that, we will adjourn our meeting.